The movie The Help takes place during 1963 in Jacksonville, Mississippi. The movie focuses on the lives of maids Aibileen Clark and Minnie Jackson and their employers Elizabeth Liefel and Hilly Holbrook. It shows how these women, coming from different races and classes, interact with each other during a time where race and class are key factors in how a person is able to contribute to society. During this time, there was extreme racial segregation, and this can be seen in the dynamics between the housemaids and their employers.
In this project, we will analyze the ideas related to class, status, and power in The Help. The Help shows the struggles between the black maids and the white families, showing how the white families, especially the women, have the most power and largest status in the society of Jacksonville. The ideas of class are also being shown with the way different characters live, talk, and act.
By C. Wright Mills. It is about the concept of power seen in today's society. Mills proposes that there are three main parts of the power elite. They fall in the areas of politics, the economy, and the military. Because they are in these areas, they are able to hold dominant positions in society, therefore allowing themselves to control the most people. These power elites are not always heard of or thought to exist, but C. Wright Mills explains that they are there and that they are important to the structure of society. These people are put into positions that enable them to create jobs and other opportunities for other people. Because of this, they are the deciding factors of many hundreds of people's lives.
The relationship between Hilly and Minnie show the differences between white women and black maids. Hilly is an upper-middle-class white woman who has a lot of power within Jackson because she is seen as a respectable woman who is the president of the Jackson Junior League. She has bad intentions, oppressing black maids, however she makes it seem right to do so, and she talks in a way that persuades the other white women to feel the same way. Hilly plans to pass a law that enforces black maids to use a separate bathroom that is located outside their owner's house. This shows how Hilly has the power to even create something like this. She is able to do so because she is a white upper-middle-class woman who is seen as a leader in society. Because she is white, she is instantly part of the upper class, and being in an upper class gives an individual more power within society. Minnie, being a black maid, gives her the status of a lower-class woman in Jackson, causing her to be oppressed and treated poorly, especially by Hilly, her employer. In one scene, Minnie was too scared to use the bathroom located outside Hilly's house, so she decided to take a risk and use Hilly's bathroom. Hilly finds out and fires her immediately, while gagging because of the thought of Minnie using her bathroom. Sometime after, Minnie comes back to Hilly's house to apologize with one of her signature pies. However, this pie is made with Minnie's poop. This is eventually exposed with the book that Steeder and the Black Maids write.
Mills's proposed hierarchy of elites can be seen in the movie to a short extent. He states the power elite is composed of men whose positions enable them to transcend the ordinary environments of ordinary men and women. In the movie, Bryce Dallas Howard's character Hilly Holbrook acts as a version of a power elite. The theme of being more powerful and in charge of others because of their standing and who the elite associates with is why Hilly is considered to be an example of a power elite. She is the president of the Jackson Junior League and is involved in all sorts of charity, including collecting canned goods for the poor, starving children of Africa. Hilly associates with the many different white women of Jackson, Mississippi, but she definitely has a higher standing than any of them. If you cross her, she'll have you arrested and imprisoned for stealing or incite violence against you to run you out of the town. And she'll do it all without getting her hands dirty. She did exactly this with Minnie, her former maid, and also with Celia Foote. This scene shows Hilly meeting with the members of the Jackson Junior League. She talks about her attempts to pass a bill she calls the Home Help Sanitation Initiative. It would require all Mississippi families to build outdoor bathrooms for their black employees. Hilly thinks that black people carry diseases that can harm white people, and so she wants to get this bill passed because she's looking out for the children. The bill, originally given to the Surgeon General, was passed along to the governor. This shows that Hilly knows people who are in dominant positions of power, giving her more status and power herself. If she had been someone else, the likelihood of the bill reaching the governor most likely would have been low. Mills' quote, "As one becomes enlarged and centralized, the consequences of their activities becomes greater, and its traffic with others increases," shows how, because Hilly knows so many people and is very powerful and influential, she is able to put into place a bill that she had made. This is why she considered to be a power elite.
The reveal of Minnie's poop pie comes later on in the movie. It is revealed when the movie shows scenes of people reading the book, The Help. This part of the movie is extremely important because this is a large action against Hilly and all of the white women in Jackson. It is like a movement and a break to the oppression of black maids. It is one of the major turning points in the characters' lives because Minnie went against Hilly in an extreme way. Considering Minnie is a black lower-class maid and Hilly is a white upper-middle-class woman, Hilly could have Minnie in jail or can do other terrible actions towards her as punishment. However, she can't do this because it will reveal the fact that she was the woman who consumed the pie in the book. Even though she could not do anything to punish Minnie, this action also gave an idea to white women that they should think about how they treat their maids, and gave the idea to black maids that they can stand up for themselves.
Why Race, Class, and Gender Still Matter, written by Margaret Anderson and Patricia Collins, explores the ways in which race, class, and gender impact a person's life experiences and knowledge. They do this by looking at the possible individual effects that race, class, and gender could have on a person's life, then by looking at the possible collective effects of all three. Anderson and Collins believe that everyone must strive to gain a more inclusive view of the world in order to gain unbiased knowledge and be able to implement that knowledge into their daily lives. They also discuss how incorrect or partial knowledge is what drives racism, misogyny, anti-Semitism, and other prejudice ideas. When someone doesn't look for the whole story and only obtains a partial view of the experiences of a group, they will never be able to fully understand that group. Despite the separation by race, both groups of women are heavily impacted and limited by their identification as women. Because they are women, they are all expected to be homemakers, taking care of the children, cooking meals, cleaning the house, and being presentable to the other women in the community. Class and race come into play when we start to evaluate the roles that the women take on in the household. Because this movie takes place during the 1960s, segregation is still a large issue facing the black community. Because the employers of the black women are white, they are able to focus on the trivial tasks of keeping a house, such as throwing parties, having the finest clothes, and most impressive lives. This is compared to the lives of the black maids, who must focus on the important tasks such as taking care of the children, while also taking care of their own families. These disparities between the lives of the white and black women in this film show how important race is when establishing a person's level of social power. The relationship between Elizabeth, an upper-middle-class white woman, and Aibileen, a lower-class black woman, showed the power dynamic between the classes. As an upper-middle-class woman, Elizabeth is expected to be a homemaker, tending to all of her family's domestic needs. Despite being part of the white upper-middle class, her role as a woman still places her at a lower position of power than that of her husband. The similarity between Elizabeth and Aibileen is that they both hold positions in society where they are trying to please others. Elizabeth is inferior to her husband, and Aibileen is inferior to Elizabeth. Even though Elizabeth is a mother, Aibileen takes care of Elizabeth's daughter, cleans the house, cooks the food, and organizes all of the events that Elizabeth is supposed to host. This is similar for all of the other relationships between black maids and their white employers.